If you create content for a living, you know the grind. But the biggest silent productivity killer? It's that endless, soul-crushing task of making social media visuals. Today, we're going to break down how to stop doing it the hard way and build a smart, automated system that actually works for you.
Yeah, this probably hits a little too close to home, right? The real bottleneck, the thing that just drains your time and your creative energy, it isn't hitting schedule. It's all the design work that has to happen before you can even think about that. It's a feeling every creator, every marketer, every small business owner knows deep in their bones.
So why is this so painful? What makes this one process so uniquely terrible? Well, it's not just one big task. No, it's a mountain of 1,000 tiny, invisible little jobs that just pile up with every single post you want to get out the door.
I mean, just think about it for a second. For one single idea, you're creating, 5 versions for 5 different platforms? You're endlessly resizing for stories and square feeds and pins. You're rewriting the text overlays, swapping out graphics, double-checking brand colors. Then you're exporting and naming all those files, and then you have to do it all over again next week. It's this constant, repetitive, busy work that becomes this unseen productivity vampire.
But what if you could change that entire dynamic? The solution is to stop thinking post by post and start thinking like a factory operator. We're going to build a visual content factory. That's a system that takes one single, clean piece of information and automatically generates all the on-brand visuals you need for every single platform. Okay, let's dive into how you actually do this.
Every good factory starts with a solid blueprint. And look, building this system isn't about getting some complicated tech. It's about getting your foundation right. And that foundation really has 3 core parts.
It's a pretty straightforward 3-step blueprint you can start building today, creating clean, standardized inputs, organizing a functional asset library, and then developing a powerful, smart template system.
So first up, you standardize your inputs. This means you create a single source of truth for every single post. No more vague ideas in a Notes app. We're talking about a simple spreadsheet or a database with really rigid, separate fields for, say, the hook, the proof, and the call to action. This is how you eliminate that endless back and forth and those constant clarifications that secretly eat up half your day. Next, you've got to transform your asset storage from what the source calls folder trash, which is brilliant, into a highly functional library. This isn't just a messy shared drive, okay? It's a system where anyone on your team can find the correct logo, an approved headshot, or a brand-matched stock photo in like under 10 seconds. No more hunting for final_v2.jpg. We've all been there.
Now, this number here is really interesting. It's not just a random figure. It's a measure of the incredible impact a system like this can have on your actual work week.
According to research from Deloitte Digital, that's the average number of hours saved per week by professionals who are using generative AI and automation in their content marketing. We're talking more than a full workday that you just get back simply by systemizing what used to be manual chaos.
And the final piece of your blueprint is a smart template system. Now, this isn't about limiting your creativity. It's about channeling it. So instead of creative anarchy, where you're changing everything at once and learning absolutely nothing, you create structured experiments. You hold the layout constant while you test a new hook, or you test 2 different color schemes while keeping everything else the same. And the result? Every post actually teaches you something.
Okay, so with the blueprint in place, your role fundamentally changes. Let's move to the assembly line and see how this builds a powerful production process where you're no longer a one-off designer, but you're the operator of your own content factory. Your day-to-day workflow now looks like this. You prepare your inputs in that source of truth spreadsheet we talked about. Then you map that data to your smart templates. And then, with one click, you batch export every single variation you need for every platform. The square post, the vertical story, the reel cover, all at once. It's done.
But listen, all that speed is useless if you can't find the final files. A strict naming convention is absolutely crucial here. As the source material points out, teams waste hours every single week just trying to find the most recent, correct version of a file. A simple, logical naming system solves this problem instantly. Don't skip this part. Of course, once you're producing content at this kind of scale, you need to make sure you have some robust safety systems in place. This is all about building guardrails to protect your brand, stay compliant, and maintain quality. So the crucial thing here is knowing what to automate and what always requires a human touch. You know, those routine, low-risk tasks like resizing images, removing backgrounds, or applying brand colors, perfect for automation. But high-context, high-stakes communication, like crisis comms or nuanced community replies, that has to stay human.
And this is just a brilliant way to see how you can bake brand safety directly into your system. You can track usage rights for every asset, you can build necessary legal disclaimers right into the templates, and you can even define design safe zones to make sure your key messages aren't covered up by some platform's user interface.
Okay, this is where it all comes together. We've built a factory that saves a ton of time, but the final step is to close the loop, to turn this machine from just a simple time saver into a powerful engine for learning and intelligent growth.
See, the ultimate goal here is to evolve your automation from being just a speed hack into a compounding strength. And what that means is that every single batch of content you produce doesn't just fill your schedule, it actively makes the next batch smarter and more effective.
And you do this with a pretty simple feedback loop. You tag every creative variation with its key attributes, you analyze the performance data to see what's actually working, and then you systematically promote the winning templates to become your new standard while retiring or retesting the ones that fall flat. It's that simple.
So let's bring it all together. Let's recap the final blueprint. What are the most important takeaways you can use to start building your own visual content factory, like today?
It really comes down to these 4 pillars. First, build that source of truth data model for clean, reliable inputs. Second, develop a solid template library for each platform you're on. Third, master batch exporting with strict naming conventions. And fourth, run organized, structured experiments, testing just one variable at a time.
And here's the powerful realization you have when you get this right. You weren't spending all that time on design. You were spending it on preventable rework and endless clarifications and just mind-dumbing revisions. This system doesn't just make you faster. It gives you back your creative energy by getting rid of the true time sinks.
So this leaves us with a final question to think about. Is your social media presence a creative chore that just drains your week? Or is it becoming a compounding asset, a system that pays you back in time and insights week after week?